Feel the
It is
vibration.
feel, but I think he says it like feel it, which is almost between feel and
He
fill.
says it that way.
And he's just
Really
fishing, or he's
doesn't.
deboning a fish.
Yeah, feel it. Yeah, right.
That's a good one.
That is a good one.
Write that sketch.
Do you think he's gonna? You think he takes the skin off? Anyway,
On that note, let the circus begin.
Fill preparation.
Do we have to talk louder to get?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have
Nice,
to
yes.
shout.
it's not like being in a stage play.
Use your outside voice, not your inside voice.
Okay.
Okay.
Fill the space.
Okay, is everyone ready? Everyone all rolling? All good? Okay. Guys, okay, I guess kicking off with the generic and obvious one. Are you enjoying yourselves at Comic Con? What do you guys love about events like this?
Yes.
Go for it.
Oh man, yeah, sorry. That was incredible. I wish you guys had a camera that could see all their beautiful faces all like just ladder out.
Who's gonna talk first?
Yeah, well, let me tell you, hi, I'm Ricco Fajardo, by the way. I've been having a great time here at MCM London Comic Con. It's my first time in London. So your breakfast, by the way, is superior to America. And I've been in America my whole life, so I know. I've been around.
You talking the traditional English breakfast? Did you have that? Did you
I
have
just
did
had
you
the
have
regular
beans and
breakfast that was in the
duck
hotel.
pudding and
Yep. Yeah, the
Side
beans.
note. Anyway, I'll put a pin in that because we need to talk about that later about where to go. But yes, having a great time here at the Comic Con. What a lovely venue, and everyone's been really sweet and super energetic. Learning about the cues. It's a cue. It's not a line.
That's correct.
Different. Just turn. Words. Learning words is good. But yeah, the fans have been super hype for My Hero Academia, the new season coming up, and it's just really nice to go to another country and meet fans who are just as hype as my American comrades, just with a slight accent. And that's all it is. It's stupid. It's like, are you ready for season 4?
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, I'm ready for season 4.
Rico, according to them, we have the accent though.
Yeah, we all have accents.
Yeah, I'm just
Accents
saying.
are sexy.
That's what I meant.
Accents are sexy. But yes,
Oh, here we go.
Hashtag not all.
hashtag.
Yeah.
I don't know if any of us even need to speak after that.
mean,
That was
Rico-
such a
We
thorough.
handily
sorry.
encompassed our reactions, I think.
Rico,
It is nice
Burrow.
to get a ticket overseas and see a new place, a new country. It's awesome. And to realize that you're appreciated
Yeah.
wherever that may be.
Yeah.
In this case, in London.
Definitely.
So
I'll add-
cheers to that.
I love any judgment-free zone for a bunch of nerds to get together. That warms my heart.
Well put, my friend. Well
Definitely.
put.
Love geeking
Yeah.
out with others.
Definitely. Yeah, I would also say that in my experience, the fans here are a lot more polite
Yes.
Respectful than back home.
Londoners, so polite.
Yeah, so we appreciate that.
I guess all else, our American counterparts are just very boisterous. What would you call it? Like, I'm trying to think of polite. Because it's not impolite. They're just like, hey,
Yeah.
oh. So
Everybody here's been
energetic.
very considerate. Yeah, put it that way. Yeah.
We love you at home.
Yeah, we're not
Right,
saying
no,
anything
that-
negative.
They're all right. Say hi.
You guys are great.
You guys are
With a big show such as My Hero Academia, what is the universal appeal about the show? It's a big hit here in the UK, it's a big hit in the US as well, and it's like one of the big anime blockbusters at the moment. So, to you guys, what do you think the big appeal of the show is?
It has so much heart.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the things that I love about it. It's like not only is it beautiful animation, delightful casting, and characters, but I mean, it's a really touching show, I find.
Yeah.
Which I love anime with no substance, that are just pretty pictures and great action sequences as well. But to have like a really great story and compelling characters, I mean, I think it hits every single nail on the head and hits it really well.
I wasn't sure about it at first. I watched a lot of anime and I'm like, all right, this is coming to Funimation, what is this? And I watched the first episode and I'm like, okay, heroes, got it. A lot of hero stuff happening, right? MCU is like 10-year long run. I mean, Game of Thrones just finished. A lot of, they're not heroes, but you know what I mean. Long
No
running.
spoilers.
No spoilers. Everyone dies. Yeah, after watching the second episode, I'm very into symbolism and kind of character analysis as well, and watching in classic anime style, right? The school of misfits and everyone's got different abilities. I love the idea of superpowers and the idea, at least the way I view it, like as a metaphor for what makes people special. Their quirk, calling it a quirk, is a really specific word.
Yeah.
And I love that because some people have really awesome quirks and some people have not so awesome quirks. And yet, it's emblematic or very, very close to how I think personally how people are in life. And we travel through our lives, and some of us are good at some things and others aren't so good, but we can all work on what makes us special.
Yeah.
Not that that's too kind of like soft-hearted, but really like I love the show because there are people that can just straight up like, I can fill this coffee cup with my quirk, and that's what they do. And it's humble and it's sweet, but then all of a sudden that character can become something, can literally become a hero and save the day in an episode. And I think our viewers will see something like that and go, I'm that. I've done that for someone. And so even being a hero, on a small
Anyone who
level.
can consistently fill a coffee cup is my hero.
Yeah, and the show just has so many really great characters, and they're all unique, and there's something different about each one that makes them so special and lovable.
Even the villains.
Yeah.
This is true. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
And
Yeah.
without the villains, would they really be heroes?
Well, like
Don't we
what's,
kind of
Yeah.
anyway.
oh man, I want to
Like what a
philosophize
hero is.
like what being a hero is. Yeah.
I date like Bakugo. Is Bakugo really? Because I keep thinking he could switch over to our team
Right.
very easily, and Cliff really insists that is not even possible. I'm like, man, but you seem pretty irritated all the time, like more than my dude does.
He's
Yeah.
actually soft, like he's like a porcupine.
Right.
little
On the
hedgehog.
inside, right.
He's
Once
like,
you get to the gooey center,
he's actually like,
The
okay, if you
gooey
run my
porcupine?
ball.
I think he would love this characterization of
Yes,
his
Cliff is
characterization.
a gooey
Yeah.
porcupine, guys.
Yeah.
Let it be said.
For sure.
Yeah, even his hair is like it. So.
But it's something to be
That's
said about
right.
the villains. But really, like they all have body. It's not where they're just pigeonholed as like
They're not caricatures.
the reason
No.
the reason that they are villains. Like they're heroes in their own mind, I think.
Yeah.
And they also have an ensemble of friends and comrades that believe a thing. Not to I don't
It's
know how
a
to get
little more effed up, I think.
a little more, but like it's hard to not talk about the story because I don't know who's gonna watch this. But anyway, like with Stain and everything, like some people are like, yes, that guy, and the people that rally behind this one character, villains and heroes alike. You're like, whoa, who's this dude who's like drawing this very specific group of people? And then of course All Might, who's like, yes, I am here, and you're like, oh yeah, that I want to be like that, and of course that draws its own crowd.
I've never played a villain with massive facial scarring that is a bad guy that fans have reacted so positively to. It's so strange. And-
Dobby's
or
pretty
even
sexy.
think that he's like really sexy, and I'm like, this man has scars all over him. But
But you're into it.
yeah, great. And honestly, I think I've only seen one male cosplayer of Dobby. I've seen tons of female cosplayers. Yeah.
There's something to be.
For what it's worth.
Something to
I have seen no male Midnight cosplayers.
I have not either.
That will be a brave individual.
Indeed.
Obviously, fans will be really, really excited about the new season coming up. I'm curious, just overall, sort of tonally, because each season kind of brings something new, takes in different directions. What can fans overall expect from season 4?
I'm like so read ahead, guys. Aaron, please.
But
I can't even look.
how much
I
are
can't
you
look.
allowed to say? I mean,
Yeah, you just have to keep it vague.
like really vague.
This is like,
Yeah.
thank goodness for shows like Game of Thrones and the MC universe to teach us how to not say spoilers, but talk
Right.
about everything around it. I'm like,
I don't think it teaches everyone.
Yeah, you're right.
I went through my news feed the day after and immediately just a headline. I'm like, great,
Oh,
thank you so much.
yeah.
There's a giant detail I now know. Anyway, so do it, but keep it.
I'm trying to. I'm Aaron, can you open up this?
Yeah. I think there's little small morals that come up in each season, and I think maybe the one that's coming up is going to be something along the lines of like, it's not what you're given, it's like what you make of what you have. I think we're going to get a lot more of that sort of idea coming up.
That's pretty vague.
That's
But- big-
but
please.
concise.
Yeah. Oh no.
Yeah.
I meant that as a compliment. I
Yeah.
hope that was understood.
Yeah, it was a cute little bow.
Well, hi guys. With the anime being such a success in Japan, is there anything like really challenging or really daunting about encapsulating these quite large characters in a new way? And if there is, what's the scariest thing about that?
No fear.
No
Super
fear.
excited.
Yeah.
Like to me personally, it's a delight to get a chance to hear, our Japanese counterparts, like give it their heart and how inspiring and it feels, you get jazzed, man, when you see someone swinging for
Yeah.
the fences when it comes to a scene. But no intimidation. Just it's us getting to take a crack. It's like play. Like you get to do it again just because you know what happens if Romeo and Juliet die in the end. Sorry, spoilers. But truly, it's the playing of it, and so what a delight that we get the opportunity to do that.
See,
Yeah,
I keep it a
but-
mystery when I record. I don't like to. I don't like to know what's going to happen.
You don't know the Dobby guys?
I honestly.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Joking.
all over the
Make
place.
jokes.
Wow.
Not
Sorry,
funny.
bro.
Wow.
Totally
Not
joking.
funny.
I know. No, I get it. You actually, you got me.
No, for real. He's acting.
I die all the time, and
I'm sorry.
no, not just that. I mean, literally, last year on television, I died in every show that was shot within the central Texas corridor. That every network television show
Can we
except for
montage
one.
it? I want to montage it.
And the other one that didn't get, that I didn't die in, got canceled. So,
Oh man.
yeah. Anyway, so I'm good at this. Maybe this is a problem. Maybe this is not something I should cultivate.
Is that
as part of my skill set.
Sean Bean effect?
I don't know. He does it well too, doesn't he?
That's what I'm saying, dude. There's a market for that.
But I'll add to what you're asking about that. When we have an opportunity to work on a show that has had such popularity in Japan, and we already know that going into it. Yeah, like the main feeling is like, oh, this is so exciting! Like, what an honor to be able to work on this. But I definitely feel a little bit of. It's hard to ignore the fact that there is a certain expectation, and you don't want to disappoint anybody, and you want to do the character justice, and because people are really looking forward to hearing what your performance is for a particular character, especially if they already really love that character, and they may already have an idea in their head of how that character is supposed to sound and how that character should be portrayed. And so I feel that with certain characters, and definitely with my hero going into that, I wanted to make sure that I was really bringing my very, very best. So it's a good amount of pressure. It's not like anxiety or anything, but yeah, just enough to make you really give your best.
As voice actors, do you have any routine, like daily routines before you go in to not shoot but record? And like technically in comparison to like emotionally as an actor?
I'll go. Warming up, I like to. Yeah, I think we talked about this earlier in the question. We
did.
We all have our
panel.
own little personal routines, but I like to sing, specifically Sam Smith songs because he's ridiculously high range, and I just sing songs that Michael Jackson things. I'm like, go up there and go all up and down the range. The scale as loud and proud as I can in my car in the shower, and yeah, drink a lot of water. I mean, that's the morning routine though. I get up at 6 a.m. and I'm like annoying my neighbors and roommates and stuff, no doubt. But yeah. Anyway.
I've yet to hear you.
Okay, good. But yeah, so that's my personal kind of routine. I'll try to do like yoga, hit the gym, try to get frosty before if it's a big scene or I know it's a yelling thing. But the difficulty I would say, and I'll toss this to my comrades, is that oftentimes we don't know with simuldub and things what's coming. So we could get ready to walk into a scene that's going to be full of yelling. And I just did my normal, okay, let's go. It's like, all right, Ricco, you're going to be yelling for 2 hours straight because you're in a fight. And I'm like, oh man, all right, well, here we go.
I mean, I go in to record all the time, and I have no idea until I step into the booth what I'm recording for. Sometimes they do not tell you in advance. So it's kind of just getting into the mindset of, I'm ready for anything, throw me what you got, and I'll work with it. And then, there are certain things that, like singing in the car, like you were saying, that will help with whatever it is you're going to be doing, as long as it's voiceover, staying hydrated. I was talking about earlier how I have to consciously remind myself to drink water before a recording session because I generally am kind of bad about staying hydrated, which is very important when it comes to doing voiceover, obviously. Yeah, I know. Thank you for the reminder. So try to drink a lot before a session. Singing in the car along with the radio.
Yeah, I think that's probably going to be most of our answers is singing or doing some kind of like your typical vocal exercises that you learned in choir, basically.
Right,
Going up the scale, up and down.
Just getting warmed up.
A couple of us are based in Austin, and most of the recording happens in Flower Mound, which is about 3 to 3.5 hours, depending on traffic. So getting frosty like you do at the gym, yoga, all that's not really possible. It's mainly about trying not to be, for me anyway, I don't know, to have that weird vacant, road-worn feeling. Luckily, with this particular show, my guy is a man of few words. He doesn't raise his voice. He's super chill. I do have stuff that's higher energy that it's more difficult to get into, but this one in particular, it's relatively easy to kind of just fall into whatever happens. And I know I'm not going to be yelling, whatever it is.
Oh, so cool.
It's kind of interesting too. I actually feel like once I started doing voice acting for a living, it actually changed like my personal life a little bit more, because it becomes not just about like prepping for like, oh, I have one session later in the week that I need to be, on point for. It's like it becomes an everyday thing. And you really have to like protect your instrument. So I find I don't see live music as much anymore,
Yeah.
because trying to like talk above the concert noise can wreck you for a session the next day.
Yeah, that's so true.
Or
I didn't think about that. Or like if you go on a roller coaster, don't scream while you're on it.
I'll actually
Yeah.
try to stack
That's alarming.
sessions, to use the sessions like from one particular show, like where I know if I've got something that's particularly deep and gravelly, I'll try to put that at the end of the week.
Yeah.
And that way I get through all this other stuff and it actually kind of warms me up and preps
Right.
me and like hurts my voice a little bit to the point, and this is probably not the way to do it safely, but hurts me to the point that I can get into that deep gravelly thing by the end of the week. And it's much more naturally there for me. And then, it gradually goes away over the course of the weekend,
Yeah.
if you're lucky.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just
If-
miss your
I like
voice.
the tag on if you're lucky.
If you're lucky. Gotta be lucky.
Yeah, if I'm voicing a boy character, it's very helpful if I happen to have a sore throat.
Oh yeah.
That's
Or
what
if
I'm
you just
talking
like
about.
Oh, my natural
That's what I mean.
Bliss.
Yeah, yeah.
Aside from making yourselves ill, you put such a beautiful bow before on season 4 with talking about how it's about, the moral being it's kind of being grateful for what you have. I think it'd be really interesting to hear from each of you what you're most grateful about with your character, what it is that you find most interesting or fun about them.
Oh man, I've read ahead. I legitimately get emotional about it. And it's so cliche to say that, especially being an actor. But you guys know how it is when there's something really special to you and you read about it and you identify with the character. I think it's when I got cast as my character, his name's Mirio in My Hero Academia. Colleen was like, "Oh, it's just you," and I thought that was just the most lovely praise I could ever receive from someone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really great. It's hard. I can't talk about it because it's that character. You gotta discover him. But it's a journey, man. And I like resonate. If you're lucky and you're an actor and you get a role that like you don't have to work for. Do you know what I mean? You're like, oh, this is just.
I know exactly who
I know
this is.
exactly where this is. I don't have to go practice anything. It is in the pocket and I'm ready to go. Colleen was like, yeah, let's just make our job easy and just cast you as this. And I was like, wow, you think that of me. That's beautiful. I'm so humbled at that because it's a wonderful journey that the character goes through. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what my journey holds as Davi, but I definitely feel like I can identify with his scars. And not his external scars, his internal scars. Anyway, for what it's worth.
Yeah.
I feel I identify with him.
It's good writing, man.
Yeah.
It's good writing. I don't know. You guys feel it? You can tell when you act it. Any actors who are watching this at some point, or I guess even if you're just a purveyor, a patron of of art, and you when the thing resonates with you, it's when you close the book. You read that chapter of Game of Thrones. You're like and you're upset for several days because the thing happened. It gets in your skin, I think, for all the right reasons. Anyway. It's hard to not talk about it.
Well, and on the opposite end of the spectrum, I usually end up playing characters that are very dark and dramatic, and it's actually been really lovely to play a character in My Hero Academia that I feel adds levity and humor to the kind of intense, dark situations. So she's been really fun to play with in that respect.
Yeah. Along the same lines, for my character, she's very lighthearted and kind of jovial and very, very talkative and just curious and, wants to know everything about everyone around her and always happy-go-lucky. And I mean, how is that not fun to play? That's, characters like that are always so fun to play, and especially when they have a really big heart, which I think she does. So.
I think what I like about Tamaki is, and this is based more on reading ahead, like Ricco did, he's got an accurate like gauge on his own strengths and weaknesses, which I think is like a really underrated thing to have. Like he knows what fights he can take. He knows like public speaking is not his game, and I really value that, and it's something that I like to think I have in myself. And like being cast as someone who's like you plus like part of your super ego is always, as Ricco was saying, it's really, really flattering. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and so yeah, I don't really know what Pony has in store yet. But,
She's cute.
But she's
so
cute,
cute.
and the few times that I've seen her, Austin's character seems to be like whispering things in her ear and telling her what she should say to the other class. Like they seem to be like harassing the others.
She's the only American, right?
She's American,
Yeah,
and
she's the only
she's
American.
like, okay, I'll say this thing. Why are they acting like that? I don't know. She's really
Messing with
cute
the
though. Like I
foreigner.
get that in like some parts too, where I'm like, I don't know what's going on, but yeah, let's go with it.
I'm really excited to see the maturation of all the characters.
Yeah.
You know,
See
not
where
that
they all
I don't
go.
know if there's like a time skip coming or something. You know what I mean? Like how it happens. I don't know. We don't know.
How far have you read all of it?
I've read as far as it can be read. Yeah. As far as you can read. I'm like on top of it.
Curious.
How does that impact you though when you know what's coming?
For me, and I know. Well, you were just saying this, right, Jason? About you don't like to know what's coming, right?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's not that I just find that I react more honestly,
Yeah.
more naturally
I'm the
if
same
it kind of unfolds in front of me.
Yeah. I
There-
feel like
Go
my
on a journey
performance
with
is
them.
more organic if I don't know what's coming because my character doesn't know what's coming. And so, that's.
I also get those Todoroki questions all the freaking time, and I can honestly say that I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, that's
And
true.
that's a great answer.
The burden of knowledge.
I'm not allowed to say if I did know, so I can honestly answer that I do not know. I know nothing.
Right.
I'd say theatrical came up theatrically, and so rehearsal. Not to be afraid of rehearsal, and not to be afraid of like the foreknowledge.
Yeah.
I like to meditate and ponder on all the different things that could possibly be, and then it's just acting. And good acting is truth, it's reality, in my opinion. So don't get me wrong, it's lovely to be like, holy crap, my lover dies in this scene, and then it's there in the moment, and you have that authentic breath. But I can act that with specificity, I think, as well. Do you know what I mean? I mean that's just
Absolutely.
They're all roads
Totally.
lead to the thing, but for
Yeah.
me, I'm like, plus I want to know what happens next. Like, I'm that fan also that's like, what? Tell me.
I mean, I want to know, and I get what you're saying about in the theatrical realm. I mean, obviously, you rehearse things unless it's completely improvised.
Which I was allergic to, by the way. I
Really?
hated rehearsal. I did not like rehearsing. I'm like, can we do the thing? Can we like do this full out? I would be upset. But in grad school, it was like just bleed it out until the thing is pulp, and then it just is. And I was like, oh wow, that's a hard lesson to learn over.
So I come from a company, we'd make our own work. So we've literally, there's one piece in particular that we worked on. We workshopped for 9 years.
Ooh.
I mean, we performed it in all its iterations.
Yes.
But 9 years. Literally.
Yeah.
And they're like, you want to be involved in another play? I'm like, I don't have that much life left.
You just feel your beard.
I'm too old. I'm already like, check out the grade. Like, I can't do it again. But with the anime, with the voiceover, I feel like more that I can allow it to unfold.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yes, absolutely.
And especially with this particular character. Although I am exceptionally curious myself. I mean, I've gotten that question so many times. And I want to ask you, when we leave here, I want to be like, all right, what happens? What is it?
I won't tell you.
But thank you.
Yeah.
I respect it.
Tell
Love
me
it.
though.
Tell me though. I'll tell you right now.
Is there any live action TV shows that you think would work or be a really interesting anime kind of style?
That's
like
a
Game
good
of Thrones
question.
or
They've done a bunch of intros. They did the Game of Thrones intro, anime style. That was slick. They did Batman anime style. That was rad. Batman went back in time, and he was all like Bushido.
Wolverine too, no?
Was that?
Wolverine
Yeah.
too. He spent the time in Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that's just like a
That's a good
tasty.
question.
Yeah, it's a tasty
Yeah.
question.
I've thought of that in reverse before, but never really that direction.
You know what? This isn't exactly answering your question, but I want to see Neil Gaiman's Sandman made into an anime.
Be good.
And I want to voice Delirium. But yeah, I mean, they keep talking about how they're going to make a movie series or TV series out of it, and that just keeps on not happening. And
Yeah.
I'm like, do it animated; it'll happen faster.
I feel like watching like Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad with
Like
anime.
something straight up. You know what I mean? Like you guys know what I mean? Like that would be
Something like
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
yeah, with like the intense scenes, like the medium shots of just like
I almost feel
Cranston
like-
just anime Cranston.
I feel like Stranger Things could work as an anime.
Oh,
Easily,
yes.
absolutely,
Yeah.
easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. I mean, gosh, we could let our imaginations roar on that one.
Yeah.
Good question.
I mean, you guys have done so well with that. We're going to give you another question that I think fans probably ask you a lot, which is that if you could pick one quirk for yourself in real life, which would you be taking?
Does that have to be from the show, or can it just be like a?
Any kind of.
I mean, if you want to go a la carte, you want to invent a quirk, then go for it.
All right. Well, I said this earlier, so I'm gonna be a repeating Ralph. I want incredible luck, like stupid luck. There's a Marvel character named Longshot who comes from not well known, but I had his trading card as a kid. Well, he's the best luck. He literally, people try to kill him and he just like falls out of the way, things occur. He's like, man, I really need some money right now. A bag of money just appears. He's like, that's kind of rad.
Gambit's a little like this too, though, isn't he?
Isn't
Gambit?
that
Gambit,
character
sort
Donna?
of. Gambit has the kinetic energy, but I'm going to say that's my quirk. I want
What's the
just
girl from the new?
luck.
Domino.
Yeah,
Domino.
Yeah.
That's
Domino.
right.
Hey guys,
Not a
last
power.
question.
Yes, it
Oh,
is.
no.
Oh,
Fine.
Sorry.
Okay, so I think the thing that would help me the most in my actual life would be not needing any sleep. Not
Oh.
requiring sleep.
That's game breaking. That's
Yeah.
I would get so much done.
I know, right? You get so much done.
Yeah,
I'd be so productive.
Oh, I want to make people smell whatever I want them to. Take that how you will.
villain.
Are you gonna come up with a new one, or? Are you... Oh no, I'm on that. I'm
Okay.
on board.
I feel like I want to be able to hop back in time 5 seconds. Because I feel like too much more than that, and you get into some really dangerous,
Right.
like butterfly effect, paradoxical, whatever's time continuums. But 5 seconds is doable.
Yeah.
I
You could
would have a
cheat at
lot
some
less
sports.
bruises and scraped shins.
Oh man.
yeah, I'm not afraid of that. I want teleportation with a little time travel thrown in, and
It's
I'll
not
go
too
back
much to
further. I
ask.
mean, and I have metal in my body and fake lens. I mean, I'm a cyborg, so if I could avoid that, I might not. Anyway, that's the quirk.
So, okay.
You say last one? Oh, all right.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thanks,
The real game is sad.
Yeah.
Go to your agents.
Oh no, that'd be great.
Every Domino did have crazy luck.